This here is our Oklahoma Joe smoker that we have not used, I'm going to say, yeah, probably since Thanksgiving last year, or 2 years ago. This right here, got that stuff out of here, that's a water pan. The water pan goes in here, where all your heat and your smoke and everything comes from the firebox over here. And something I did years ago, you'll see down in here, there's a whole bunch of steel plates that are all down in here. They're thick steel plates. Basically are considered tuning plates. And what you do is you take these steel plates and you space them out throughout the bottom here with different size openings. And when you do that, what you can do is channel the heat and the smoke, because the heat and the smoke come up through these different vents in between these plates. And you know, if you put a smaller gap, you'll have less smoke and less heat coming up through the smaller gap, as opposed to more heat and more smoke coming up through a larger gap. And basically what this is designed to do is to distribute instead of all the heat being right here, it helps distribute the heat throughout the entire smoker. So I'll get these lined up in here the way I like them. Nope, here's our water pan. Goes right there. I'll get it filled with water after I wash my hands. The wood that we're going to be using is apple, and it's just, these here are just like wood pieces of the wood chunks. And when you're smoking like this, using charcoal and wood chips, basically you want to soak all your wood chips in water. You want to get them very, very wet, because you're going to have the charcoal producing the heat. You don't want your wood chips to burn. You want them just to smoke. So when you get them really wet all the way through, that'll help them last longer, and they will just more or less, instead of producing heat, they will just produce smoke. You can see inside the firebox, basically there's a grill here that you put the charcoal on the grill, and it allows air, both top and bottom, for a nice hot burn. So I'm going to get this loaded up. Because once we get this going and get this heated up, I don't want to be over here opening this all the time, because then I'm just going to lose all my heat. So if I'm going to access it at any point, it's always going to be right down through here, and not opening this top part. This here flap on this exhaust over here, that's another part of the entire system as far as how to maintain heat, because this is going to be open to a certain amount. That down there will be open to a certain amount, and together it's only going to allow so much air to circulate at a time, and that's how you adjust them to get you right at the temperature that you want to be at. To start out with, I'm going to open them all the way. This one's going to be opened all the way. This one here is going to be opened all the way, and then as the smoker starts to heat up, I'm going to maintain the temperature here, and as it starts coming up, I want to run this right about 225 to 235 and maintain that as best as I can. So once it comes up, if it starts getting too hot, I close them down just a little bit. If it still runs too hot, I close them down a little bit more. And each time I drop them just a little bit until I get to that 225, 235 degrees. And then it's just from then on, it's just a matter of maintaining it. 210, almost 215. Yep, it's getting close. It's a lot of steel to get hot.
Okay, while Frank's outside getting the smoker ready out there, I'm going to be inside getting the pork butt ready inside. I'm going to put our little cutting board, tabletop. It just gives you extra space is what it is. And here's our pork butt. It is a pork butt that has a bone in it. And what I'm going to do is get our mustard out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the pork butt all ready to go. And what I did, because we're kind of camping-ish here, is I put a little bit of the mustard in a little baggie here instead of bringing the whole container. And then the dollar store had these little containers. There was, I think it was 10 for $1, which is perfect. So I just put our little seasonings in here, so that way I don't have to bring the great big jar. And the video that we did back when we did smoking of ribs a couple months ago, we prepped the pork ribs the same way as I'm going to prep the pork butt. I'm going to go ahead and open. And what's also nice, just as a thing, because they're 10 for $1, I just write on the top of it what it is, and I know what it, and I know which spices for what. Open up the spice here, and then I'm going to get my scissors. And I'm going to just snip the end off here so I can squirt it on the meat just like as if it was coming out of the jar. I'm just going to smear that mustard all over. I did wash my hands before I started this. There we go. Just going to smear it all over. And this mustard will not give the meat any kind of flavor. What it does, it acts as a binder so that the spices will stick to it. And then I'm just going to sprinkle it on. Make sure I cover it all over. And this is the rub that's actually designed for pork because it's a little bit sweeter. And because we're smoking, the sugars won't burn it. Whereas sometimes when you do it on a grill, the grill will cause the sugars to burn on, like sometimes we'll do chicken with this on it because we want a little bit sweeter of a taste. The sugars will cause the flames to flame up and char the skin of the chicken. Sometimes we can do it on a pork steaks and stuff, and if we're not careful, not me, it's Frank who does the grilling outside, but if we're not careful, it'll cause the outside, the sugars to burn on the outside of the meat. All right, we're gonna flip it over now. There we go. And squirt some more on this side. Smear it all over. There we go, all done. Now I'm just gonna smear it. Make sure I'm getting it on the sides. I want to make sure it's covered everywhere. And sprinkle our seasoning. Pick it up a little bit here. Try and get it all over. Covering it really good. I'm going to use it all here. Go. And she, or he, is all ready to go on the smoker when the smoker's ready. And we usually kind of do this 30 minutes before we put the meat on, just to give it enough time to absorb some of that seasoning before we put it on the grill. We also bring the meat up to room temperature, so take it out of the refrigerator, season it up, and then just let it set for about a half hour. So I'm just going to set it aside, clean up my mess, and we'll be ready to go, hopefully pretty soon. All right, well, the smoker is ready to go. So I'm gonna place the pork roast on this rack. Frank actually cooks it right on this rack. So I'm gonna put it on that rack. We're gonna take it outside so we can get this pork butt smoking. There we go, just place right on there. Oh, look at all those juices. I'm gonna go ahead and, that's because of those sugars. And it's been sitting, and the sugars have kind of been melting. So let me wash my hands, and we're gonna go outside.
As you can see, we're setting right at about 250 degrees. So at 250 degrees, what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start closing these down a little bit. Just a little bit at a time. And we said we're going to keep this at about 225 to 235. We're setting right at 250, which that's okay. That's good because I'm getting ready to open this and put the pork butt on, and in doing so I'm going to lose a lot of heat. And that's one of the main things about a good smoke is you don't want to be over here lifting this lid all the time either, because all you're going to do is lose your heat, and you're going to constantly be battling, trying to it's going to make maintaining that heat even harder by coming over here and lifting this. So that's why I'm going to let this thing go for about 3 hours before I come in and check it. We will lose a lot of heat when I open this and put it on, and then it's just a matter of maintaining it at that 225, 235.
All right, we have it ready to go on.
Just pop. It seems to be maintaining right about 230. I went ahead and just added some more charcoal and put three wood chips in there. As you can see, it's smoking pretty good. If that temperature raises up anymore, then I'm going to back them off again. But it seems to be right about 230, 235. We don't want it any hotter than that. And it's okay for it to burn down to about 225, and when it gets down to 225, I'll add some more charcoal and some more wood chips, and it'll bring it back up again. But so far it's maintaining about 230. All right, well, looking good, still looking good. Good smoke. Staying right there, 230. All right, I'm gonna bring you over just real quick. And as you can see, we're setting right at 230 degrees. So 230 degrees. Right now, we are about 2.5 hours in. It's maintaining that temperature, and in about another 30 minutes at the 3-hour mark, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open it for the first time. I'm going to put a temperature probe inside of it, and what we're looking for is 160 degrees. Now, if it's at that temperature, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it. But if it's not quite at 160 yet, I'm going to go ahead and leave the probe in it and have it sitting out here where I can monitor that interior temperature, because once it hits 160 degrees, that's when we want to wrap. Okay, so it's been about another 30 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead. Got my temperature probe. This is a thermoprobe. And in fact, you know what? Let me just show you real quick. got this. This is actually a gift from JP and Alyssa for Christmas. And again, it's called ThermoPro. And it's got two separate probes. It's got one that you can set inside just for a general temperature of the inside of the cooking area, and then it's got another probe that goes inside the meat. And the really neat thing about this is this sits on the outside. This sits on the outside. You can close your lid. It's not going to hurt this line at all, or this wire. And this goes in the meat. This sets outside, and it's got not only Fahrenheit, but it's got Celsius. I got it set on Fahrenheit. It says it's 74 degrees. Let's see what happens when I hold this probe. See if it does anything. $75, $78. So that's just me holding it. Anyways, it's pretty accurate. Something that I like so much about this ThermoPro is this little thing right here. It's got the one that goes on the meat and can set out here where you can visually monitor it, or this straps right onto my belt. I can go walk around and do whatever I want and still be able to read the temperature wherever I'm at. It's kind of like a pager or whatnot. And this will, if I set it for a certain temperature, when it hits that certain temperature, this will beep at me and let me know that it's gotten to that temperature. What I'll do is I'll put a link down below, and check it out if you like it. This is not any type of a paid promotion. We're not affiliated with ThermoPro or anything like that, but we are affiliate marketers with Amazon. And anyways, you can click on it, take a look at it, see if you like it. It does help us out here on the farm just a little bit. It doesn't cost you any more than if you didn't click the link. It doesn't cost you any more, but it does help us out here on the farm. Okay, so we're still at 230 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and open this for the first time. I'm going to get this probe in there. I want to make sure that I'm not hitting any bone or anything. I don't want it near the bone. We just want it as close to center as possible. All right. Oh my goodness, look at that. As you can see, we're at 114 degrees interior temperature, but look how much heat we lost just from opening it up for that short amount of time. It dropped all the way down to 200. But you can see it's slowly coming back, and it should come right back to 230. All right, so we're at 114. As soon as it gets to 160, we're going to know it, and then that's when we're going to wrap it. So this will not be opened up anymore until I hit the 160 degree mark. A lot of you might be thinking, well, Frank, why didn't you just put that in when you put the pork butt in there to begin with? At the 3-hour mark, I wanted to open it to see how things are going. I'd see what it looks like, and make sure everything's going the way it's supposed to. So it's at 115. We've got another 45 degrees to go till we hit 160, and then we'll wrap it. And in the time that I've been sitting here talking, it's right back at 230 degrees. Nice smoke coming out. It's already back up to temp. Some cheese and crackers.
Oh, I have you one. We're eating cheese and crackers.
Having some cheese and crackers. Because we got a ways to go yet. Those are good. All right.
Just a little something to tide us over.
Yeah, we got a couple hours to go anyway. Here we go.
my goodness, look at that.
Poof.
Okay, a little smoky.
A little smoky. Oh, get out of the light, Frank. All right. Here. Here.
Burn yourself.
Upsy daisy. Okay. Beautiful. Right there. Right there in the same hole. Man, oh man, look at that. Just, you know what? I'm going to take this. And just here we go. We hit our 160, we wrapped, and we probably still, I'm going to bring it up to 190 degree interior temperature. We probably got about another hour, hour and a half to go. Here, I want to say it's about 6:30. It's already dark. And about another hour, hour and a half. I really wished we would have put this on more like about 10 o'clock in the morning instead of 12:30. I think it was about 12:30, quarter to 1. But it usually takes about 1 hour per pound, 7 hours. So it looks like we're going to be eating dinner about maybe 8 or 8:30. That's okay. No problem. We had some cheese and crackers earlier. So we'll keep you along with us, and when this thing's done, well, we're gonna show you the end result. Well, everyone, as you can see, it's about almost 9 o'clock at night, 8:55. We're still holding 230 degrees in temp. We've got an interior temperature of 188. We're finally getting to the last part of this smoke on this pork butt. We got 2 more degrees to go. Look at that. That is just full of juice.
Oh, look at that.
Oh man.
Is it good?
That's worth it. That's worth it.
All right. Well, it looks like we are ready for dinner.
Wow. Man, look at the smoke ring on that. I love that Oklahoma Joe smoker. Everyone, thank you very much for clicking on our channel. As usual, we really appreciate you joining us. And we're gonna at 9 o'clock at night. We should have started it probably 2 to 3 hours sooner, but lesson learned. We're gonna sit down and have dinner, and again have an incredibly awesome meal. And this is not even going to be dinner. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 dinners, and mini lunches, and mini barbecued sandwiches. Thank you very much, and God bless.
All right, that bone came out perfectly clean. That's definitely telling us it is done. I'm just going to cut some of this up. You can definitely see there's that smoke ring right there. Yum. All right, honey, let's go sit and eat.
All right.